So, Ariana Grande has recently released her song Petal, well, accompanied with an album that has people going crazy. The music video, the blood, the chainsaw, the acting, the situation, her situation around the whole thing. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. I hope she's well. I hope she gets well. But we are shamelessly going to look at the lyrics and analyze the lyrics, study the lyrics, and let's get it. Oh, Petal, Ariana. I want us to pay attention to how organized her lyrics are. Just pay attention to that. People see the chainsaw and blood, and you forget that there is a science behind the lyrics. Very structured. Very structured. So that's what we're going to get into first. Start off with 4 lines for the first verse, a quatrain for the first verse, and then immediately into the pre-chorus, and then immediately into the chorus. Right. Why would she do that? It's to not stall the song. It's to reel you in immediately. She has a post-chorus, right? And then after the post-chorus, verse 2, it's about 11 lines. Verse 2 is about 11 lines. And then obviously the pre-chorus again, followed by the chorus, followed by her post-chorus. Which technically, when you listen to the song, it sounds like a different song, but it's okay. The lyrics are brilliant. Brilliant lyrics. Very brilliant lyrics. She opens with trying to find something real to cry again. They say the artist needs tears to write again. The classic idea that the weekend highlighted, that the music industry wants your sadness, right? So she opens that song with something to think about. Of course, we need to understand the way this is structured. I mean, something real needs tears to cry again, to write again. So no accidents here, very calculated. If you're writing a song, that's a 4-line verse followed immediately by another 4-line pre-chorus, and then follow that with a long chorus, 8 lines, double. So her pre-chorus, because all of my favorite stories end in some kind of catastrophe, but I don't need someone to save me because this music and I will never die. That pre-chorus justifies what she said in her opening verse, trying to feel something real to cry again, because that is something to cry about. And they say the artist needs tears to write again. That's the tears that it built up to. So in songwriting, each section builds up into the next section. You don't just write random lines that don't build up into the next section. So pre-chorus will build up into the chorus, and the verse will build up into the pre-chorus, and that pre-chorus will justify everything that the verse or the preceding section said. We can take this section, for example. So they say the artist needs tears to write again because all of my favorite stories end in some kind of catastrophe. So this is justified, right? As well as this, to cry again. And we arrive to this but. She goes on to say, I don't need someone to save me because this music and I will never die well. You know what we call that? We call that a fucked situation, right? So we call that a situation as complicated. And that's exactly what she says in the chorus. So the chorus justifies what she said in the pre-chorus. Just like that. Fucked situation, yes it is, Miss Ariana. Pedal in the pavement just as long as she keeps getting it right. Heartbreak won't bite here in paradise. Personally, I think heartbreak will bite you everywhere and anywhere. But Miss Ariana says this is a convenient conflation, this record in rotation, long as. So long as she omits, just as long as she gets the ovation each night. Circling situation. Heartbreak won't bite. This is paradise. So yeah, if there's yeah, there's a yeah, I believe it's like that. Right. The chorus trope, repeating the last line, but changing it just a little so that it doesn't sound redundant. Heartbreak won't bite here in paradise. Heartbreak won't bite. This is paradise. Just changing it a little bit just to avoid that redundancy and also to tell the story in a nicer way. The post chorus was a little unnecessary. If you listen to the song, it sounds like a different song. Like it sounds like that section of the song, it sounds different, like a different flow. But yeah, everything she said so far in the song, it makes sense. It's it makes a lot of emotional sense and situational sense. The only thing is she sings the chorus in falsetto, high note. She's very high up there, and you don't really hear it as potently enough because these are good lyrics. These are good. Heartbreak won't bite here in paradise. These are very good lyrics. Um, when you're watching the music video is also very compelling. And because it's very compelling, it's also very distracting. So a compelling and distracting music video, it pulls away from the lyrics. And some songs, you want to emphasize the sound because it sounds nice, but her song in particular, the the lyrics are standing out because she's trying to get a certain message across to all her fans and to all her critics. So it would have been a good idea to emphasize the song on the lyrics, but the creative direction went the other way to emphasize it on the sound, which is why the post chorus brings in a new, different taste into the song, right? But I do feel like with such potent lyrics and a desire to get the message across, she should have focused on the delivery of the lyrics and making them punch through the record. Because when we're listening, we just hear her, well, amazing voice, amazing vocals. We don't really hear much of what she's saying unless we concentrate on it very, very directly. And unless you have your headphones in, earphones in, you're not going to hear what she's saying in the chorus, right? And yeah, I feel with very good lyrics, I feel it should have been emphasized. Maybe she should have sung it in chest voice. But hey, on to verse 2. Tell me who is to blame. Is it the people or myself? Yep. But this time feels so different. This is not a cry for help. Okay. I see you. A couple million for my thoughts. I got plenty, but I'm not a victim. Million victim. I'm practically drowning in my blessings. It's buys this time for real. Tired of painting endless pictures of a life that isn't mine. Different bags, different boys, emphasize. If this is my curse, I'll let it ride. Lyrics are, ah, lyrics are on point. She sings it very fast, as well. Self-explanatory lyrics, nothing complicated, very direct. But it's again, it's a message. She's getting a message across that she's not, she's not crying for help, regardless of all the concerns. But she's drowning in her blessings, which is the message she's trying to get across. The high life is drowning her, right? heartbreak doesn't bite in paradise, apparently. That in itself is justifying the chorus. You see, we justify the chorus, the message of the chorus, with the details of the verse. The verse and the story and the content within justifies why the chorus is delivering the message that it's delivering. So if she says something like she's not drowning, it's not a cry for help, or she is drowning in her blessings, that immediately justifies that heartbreak won't bite here in paradise. Heartbreak won't bite. This is paradise. So she's convincing herself that, no, this is good. This is amazing. I'm not drowning. I'm A-okay. Heartbreak doesn't bite in paradise. And people, we didn't get that. You know, she sang it so softly, so high. You won't really walk away from the song with that as a strong memory, as that line as a strong memory. No, no, because the delivery of the line was very high and soft in falsetto, so we didn't hear it very well. She didn't deliver it as strongly as it deserved. But that's just creative singing direction, right? The choices you make and how you deliver the lyrics. The lyrics can be great, but you can choose to deliver the lyrics in a different way that may or may not impact how the message is coming across. Because now we just hear the sound. We just remember the sound. We just remember her high vocals and the chainsaw and the blood. We don't really remember the heartbreak won't bite here in paradise. That this is a convenient conflation. You know, the record in rotation. We don't really remember that because she sung it so up there and we're just focused on down here, you see. But her lyrics are very brilliant, and the message, once you get into the lyrics, it's very clear. If this is my curse, I'll let it ride, you see. Because all of my favorite stories end in some kind of, you see, these, as well as this one, justified, right? So as she moves from the verse 2 to the pre-chorus, the lyrics justify the preceding section, right? Then it becomes a fucked situation. Yeah. And then we have the post chorus to finish things off. Brilliant songwriting. Delivery, questionable delivery. And that's it for me.